Hey pretties, I wanted to have fun with some colors, so I created this tropical Caribbean sunset eye look. I really hope you enjoy this tutorial. If you do, remember to thumbs up and subscribe before you go, and let's get right into it. We're taking the Lancome Tint IDOLE. This is their new concealer, and I'm just going to place this all over my eyelid. I already cleaned up my eyebrows with this, and for brow pencil, I used Colourpop. I will have a brow tutorial uploading sometime this week, so you'll be able to see that more in detail. Now I'm just taking a blending brush and I'm going to softly blend that concealer down in a nice thin layer. Really take your time with this process. Now I'm going to take my Sacha Buttercup setting powder, and I want to make sure that there is no creases with that concealer, because once you put that powder on there, it's literally going to set it. I did notice with the shadows that I was using, they were kind of creasy, but I'm telling you, in the end, it does all work out. So even if you're working with something a little bit more on the creasy side, just set your eyelid really good and work with it. I'm using the Morphe 35C palette, and I'm going to use this peach color, and I'm just going to use this as my transition color. When you're doing colorful eye looks, it's always best to use some kind of muted peach brown color, taupe, whatever color works best for your skin tone, just to transition out those colors and make them easier to blend. After that, I'm going right into this magenta like color, and I'm going to take a brush and I'm just going to really emphasize it right there on my outer V area. As you can see, I'm not really dragging it in too much because I really want to start to build up the intensity and shape out my eye. Now I'm going into my Juvias Zulu palette, and I'm going to take that pretty purple color, and I'm going to do the same thing, going a little lower. As I said before in another tutorial, it's really important that the darker the colors get, the lower you start to get. This provides a nice transition that looks really good in smoky eyes. It looks really good in cut crease eyes, and just eyes in general. It's a great rule to go by. Now I'm going to take that fiery hot red, and I'm actually going to take that a little bit above the first transition color. I'm so sorry that the camera started to cut off a little bit. Just as soon as I thought I was doing so good with this close-up, there we go again. So I just have to really keep practicing and checking that. After I build up the intensity, I'm going to take my concealer. I use the Lancome concealer, and honestly, I think this is why I had the creasiness. Usually, I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills concealer, which is a little thicker in consistency. So if you have something really thick and stiff, you can take a little bit of a looser concealer just to make it a little more movable, but it's really good if the concealer is thick and stiff because it's going to lock in place. I'm going to take that beautiful orange color, and I'm just going to pat that on first. I love neon orange. I think it's perfect for the summertime. With colors like this, you really want to take your time because it is matte, it is neon orange, and I am sitting it on a lighter shade, the concealer. So really take your time to build up that intensity. Make sure you have no gaps or anything like that in your eye. After I build up the intensity with the orange, I'm going to go back into my Morphe 35C palette, and I'm going to use that bright yellow color. And I just took that and I patted that in my inner lid space. And then I'm going to take this beautiful like green color in the Zulu palette, and I'm just putting that right in the inner tear duct. That's pretty much it for the eyes. I did go ahead and add liner and lashes. Now we're just going to get into the face. First, I'm going to use my Energy to V, and this is how I get my skin really glowy. I know you pretties always ask me, how do I get my skin so glowy? This is what I do. I then use the NYX Liquid Illuminator. I'll put the shade that I use down below, and I'm just going to spot this all over my face. After I spot it all over my face like this, I'm going to take my foundation, which is none other than Estee Lauder Doublewear in the shade Rich Cocoa, of course. And I'm just going to take a round buffer brush. For some reason, I think I wanted to just spread the glow out, so that's why I'm spreading it out first. But as you can see, I start to pat it in. So after you start to spread out that glow, you pat it in. Now to fast forward things a little bit, I'm just going right into contouring my face. I think I'm using a Lancome stick. The shade will also be down below. And I'm using that Lancome concealer in the shade 415 Bisque. And I'm just highlighting and contouring my face. I'm just doing both at the same time just to save some time here. I noticed that with the cream products, you really want to make sure that you blend these cream products out to perfection. On one side of my face, I noticed that I didn't blend out my contour as much as I could, and after I put my powder on, it really showed up. Even as a professional artist, you know, we still make mistakes, and you know, that's my job too. I just want to warn you guys about the mistakes not to make. So when you're using these cream products, blend, blend, blend. I mean, blend them seamlessly before you put that powder on. After that, I'm just taking and I'm blending out my contour. First, I tried it with this brush here, but I was having a little difficulty. I don't know if it sat too long too. So I just went ahead with the Beauty Blender, because a Beauty Blender fixes everything in your life. Like any makeup foe, you can fix it with a Beauty Blender. And I'm just gonna go ahead and blend that out. Now I'm adding the Sacha Buttercup under my eyes just to set that concealer. And I'm taking it into my nose because you know that also helps with slimming down the nose and our nose contour. I put a little on my chin and very little on my forehead. After I dust that off, I'm using this Morphe blush palette, and I'm using this pretty burnt orange color. It is so gorgeous. And I'm just gonna go ahead and put that on as my blush color. Now I'm gonna go back into the eyes. Actually, I know this tutorial is all over the place, but this is how I do my makeup like in real life. So I'm going to go in the same way I did the eyes, minusing the orange. I'm gonna take all the colors. No, not minusing the orange, minusing the yellow. So I'm using the green first, then I'm using the orange, then I'm using the purple. So the only color I didn't put down there was the yellow. But this is just because, as you can see, I have very small, squinty eyes. I don't have a lot of lid space, but I also don't have a lot of eyes in general, because as you can see, when I smile, I squint. So yeah. If you have a lot more lid space and a lot more eye space than me, you can really go crazy with the colors, but I just gotta work with what I got. Now I'm just contouring out my nose a little bit with a soft brown powder, and after that I'm gonna go on with the lips. I'm using a Colourpop liner. I believe the shade is R&B. And I'm just going to overline my lips because little lips do matter, but today I want my lips big, y'all. And now I'm going to take Caked Makeup Low Key, put that on, and this is the final look. I really hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. If so, do not forget to subscribe and thumbs up this video, and I'll see you on the next tutorial. Stay pretty.